I've noticed a trend lately amongst other channels that I follow, not necessarily beekeeping channels, but other channels out there on YouTube. It appears that the creators are just cutting off, and the video doesn't really have an ending, that just stops, and it's almost leaves me with a feeling that it's not finished. Let me know if that's something that you want me to do here, or whether you still like me to say goodbye and kind of give the summation of what we've done here. We kind of hang out together. I like to say goodbye. I don't think it doesn't feel right to me. I don't want it to not feel right to you when you watch my video to not see the end. And welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the Bee Castle Bee Yard, and as you probably surmised by looking at the footage that I've shown you already, is that we are going to be feeding the bees today. Now, I brought over all of my deep boxes to cover the bucket feeders I'm about to put on, and I've got 19 2-gallon buckets of 1-to-1 sugar syrup, and it's not the 2-to-1. I want 1-to-1 because I want to get these queens laying their winter brood. There's a lot of pollen coming in, and I have actually put pollen sub on the hives, so I think that they're going to have everything that they need in order to generate the winter brood. Now, the fall flow has kicked off. There's a lot of activity in the bee yard today. The girls are flying, and I went walking this morning and I saw a lot of goldenrod, a little bit of aster, some sunchokes. The flowers are starting to bloom out there. I don't know how much of a flow there's going to be. It's been dry this last week, and it's supposed to be dry again next week. And without rain, those flowers just can't put off the nectar. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving them everything they need to make their winter brood. Now, before I start feeding these girls, I want to share a story with you. Now, first of all, what did you think of the Beetle Sucker 5000 I showed you last week, and all the hive beetles that we pulled out of Hive 20 here, and the rest of the apiary for that matter? 1,300 beetles. That was a lot of beetles. And I tell you what, it is a great device, and I brought it with me again today, and I will tell you why. We are going to look into Hive 20 again, and probably a couple other hives if I have time. But I was open feeding on my railing on the back porch for the last couple of days, and this morning when I went out there to check if there was any syrup left in the jug, I lifted it up, and on the blue plate or tray that this gallon feeder sits on, there were hive beetles. Now, I don't know how they found that. There's no pollen, it wasn't flavored syrup, there was no lemongrass oil in there. I've never seen that before. I've been beekeeping for 5 years now, and I've never ever seen not the first hive beetle on my feeder, my open feeder. It's just never happened. And this morning there must have been 200, 300. I don't know. I caught a bunch of them. I'll show you how many I caught. But that was pretty crazy. I've never experienced that before. So let me ask you a question for the experienced beekeepers out there, or maybe you're someone who's new but you already found the answer. What is it that attracts the hive beetles? I thought for the longest time it was the smell of the hive. It was the smell of the pollen or the brood. I thought that is what attracted the hive beetles into a hive. But the open feeders had none of that. They didn't have any scent on them at all. It was just sugar water. The feeding equipment didn't smell. It's been previously washed. So I don't know. If you know, let me know. Maybe they're attracted to the pheromones that they smell on the bees when they're feeding. I don't know. So if you have any idea what would attract a hive beetle to an open feeder, let me know in the comments. Just put it down there. All right, let me get my gear on. Let's jump out here and start throwing the syrup to some of these hives, and I may stop again. I'm going to look at a couple of them, and if I see any hive beetles climbing out, I'm probably going to zip through the hive really quick and see what I can find. I might just go to hive 20 here, pop off both boxes and look down on the bottom and see if it's Beetlegeddon again, because for some reason that seems to be the hive that was the worst. Maybe the beetles are all flying in from this direction and that's the one that they see first. I don't know, but we're going to check, and if I see some, we're going to suck them up with the Beetle Sucker 5000, and then I'm going to give all of these girls some food and everything will be right with the world. Wonderful. All right, we are smoking and ready to go. Okay, no hive beetles yet. That's a good sign. Okay, still no hive beetles. That's still a good sign. Let's remove this box. Oh, there's a couple. Yep, there's a couple hive beetles here. Okay, this hive is added again. There's a few. Okay, here we go. So there were some. There were some more. All right, good job. Let me give you some feed. All right, let's see what we can see here. No hive beetles there. Okay, no hive beetles. I'll take it. done. All right, well, that brings us to the end of another adventure. All the girls out here have been fed. All hive beetles have been removed. If you stick around to the end, I'll show you the hive beetles that I got from this bee yard, and we'll compare that to what I got from the sugar syrup in my feeders this morning. But I want to ask you something really quick before I go. I always like to say goodbye to you and kind of give you a summation of what it is that we've been doing in the bee yard. And I've noticed a trend lately amongst other channels that I follow, not necessarily beekeeping channels, but other channels out there on YouTube. It appears that the creators are just cutting off, and the video doesn't really have an ending, that just stops, and it's almost leaves me with a feeling that it's not finished. Let me know if that's something that you want me to do here, or whether you still like me to say goodbye and kind of give the summation of what we've done here. We kind of hang out together. I like to say goodbye. I don't think it doesn't feel right to me. I don't want it to not feel right to you when you watch my video to not see the end and see what was happening, and at least have me say goodbye until next week. So there you go. There you have it. That's all I got to say about that. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. If you have something to say, by all means, please comment. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, take a moment, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified of my new content. I do try to drop a video every Friday. We try to keep it light and have fun. So with all that said, be happy, and I will see you next week. Take care.